and we're live, pal.
Oh, you didn't warn me.
Yeah.
Yeah, put away the lotion.
Oh,
Hello.
oh, you advanced actual lotion. You're no longer using the KY jelly jar
No longer. No, we're using it's manly scented. Ugh.
anymore. Is that the stuff that smells horrible?
It smells musky and from like it's extra strength like me.
'Cause there was some type of Vaseline brand like that I got before that stunk to high heaven, and like it made me think like I hope no teenage boys are trying to use this to please themselves. And if they are, I really feel bad if they happen to go out with a girl immediately after, because they'll be like, "Why does your junk smell like that?"
You know, all the Vaseline I've experienced in my life all have that scent that reminds you of camp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Damn.
Wrestling.
But if you guys didn't know, this is the Gout Foundation, and right next to me, I'm pointing the correct way, is the leader, founder, umbrella holder, and something else of the Gout Foundation, and he is
The Rihanna of Wrestle Talk, the best gout machine. Your umbrella, Ella. And this over here is my sensual cohort, Jay.
eh, 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 eh. It's Jay,
Ella.
ya boy Jay,
Ya boy.
boy. So speaking of our smooth rapping, did you know that this is the first time in 10 years that hip hop has not had a number one album or a number one single in the first 6 months of the year?
That's insane. I thought rap ruled everything.
Yeah, so did I, especially on its 50-year anniversary.
Thank you, Sprite.
Thank you, Sprite, for inventing hip hop before you were even made.
It's true.
But if
I
you
thought,
guys have not seen the show before, we go over all the crazy happenings in the weird and wacky world of professional wrestling. And we got treated to an even more special than normal happenstance this week when we got to see the debut of AEW Colostomy Bag. Now, how do you feel about the way that CM Punk came off opening up the show?
it was very heartfelt. Felt right here. You know, I will say though, he is incredibly bad at apologies. Like he never apologized for getting the Cobra logo tattooed on his arm, which offended me because, yeah, and there he is right there, little bastard. You know, he had Cobra killed my family, and he still runs around parading that tattoo around. He's parading around that with that bag, which we don't know what's inside of that bag. Possibly dead hamsters. What do you think is in there?
Well, I believe it is Destro's mask. I think it is very funny that you brought up the Cobra tattoo because
Mm-hmm.
I think that CM Punk is parading around with Destro's mask. That's why I said someone has to defeat him for it before he shows it to the world. Because
Mm-hmm.
once he claps that mask onto himself, he will be an unstoppable gun runner.
Unstoppable, the bastard.
Now, how did you feel about him coming to the ring looking like Santa Claus with regular ASIC wrestling shoes around his neck?
I thought those were like maybe his gym shoes. Like, when the hell did you wear those? Like, don't you lace up some funky boots or something? I don't pay attention to men's shoes. Didn't you watch Shawshank Redemption? We're not supposed to pay attention. But yeah, he looked like a cracked out, for a guy who's straight edge, and I hate to repeat The Rock from like 12 years ago, whatever. He does look like a crack-headed Santa right there. Mick Foley would be ashamed.
Yeah, especially wearing a Rowdy Wifer Piper shirt or whatever.
Wifer
Like,
Piper.
you're already looking like the lamest Santa Claus to ever walk the earth. And then you're going to put on the Fudge Suckers shirt on your way out to the ring to issue an apology to the very foundation of professional wrestling, which, like you said, he did not do very well.
He should, and another thing he didn't apologize for was not giving people ice cream bars. I was like, he's returning. Hello.
Where's the lie?
Where's the wait? No, that's not. Hey, that's not Bobby Fish.
Oh, that was Bobby. I thought that was CM Punk who said that.
Like, tell me what I'm telling lies, or tell me what I'm not telling truth.
I'm wondering if CM Punk was sitting at home during his triceps injury, saw Bobby Fish show up on Impact Wrestling and go, "Where's the lie?" And Punk go, "That motherfucker stole my line." And CM Punk has spent the last 6 months trying to figure out something to say instead of, "Where's the lie?"
Where's the lie? What's
Came up with, "Tell me when I'm telling lies."
like how he was trying to find, much like his Pepsi tattoo, he was trying to find the Pepsi version of something. The mark down version of something.
But isn't that that line, wasn't that used by like the Joker?
No. If you're good at something, don't do it for free.
Yeah. But I feel like that line was used in something comic book related. Really do.
Makes I lick the inside of my jaws.
But so CM Punk, like, is his whole thing like he's Santa Claus now? Or did you also, so he has the Santa Claus bag, but he has the shoes around the neck. Did you at any point, because the whole point of the shoes around the neck, as we all know, when you retire, you leave your boots in the ring.
Leave your boots in the ring.
Why, for just even a half of a second, that CM Punk was coming out to retire?
Absolutely, because I'm like, okay, all right. Because I remember when Cody lost to Malachi Black at Daly's place, and he's like started taking his shoes off, and he's like, "Listen, man, I'm going to retire randomly." So I'm thinking, okay, maybe Punk has learned this lesson from Cody, and he's like going to go, "Well, I'm returning to retire." I don't know, it just seemed weird.
I literally, as you spoke, figured out what all of it was.
Whoa.
CM Punk, to stay out of any future locker room fights, is not allowed in the locker room. Hence, him carrying his bag full of stuff that could not fit his shoes, and he walked around with his shoes around his neck. It had, the bag nor the shoes had anything to do with nothing. With the shitty t-shirt, the halfway torn sweat jacket, that right there. CM Punk, to make sure he has no more locker room altercations, no longer uses the locker room.
He has to get changed next to where the popcorn maker is at the concession stand.
And he didn't trust the person making popcorn that night, so he brought everything with him to do his promo.
Mm-hmm. There's probably some popcorn in that bag. He stole it. Shame.
Yeah.
That boy ain't right. That's exactly what I think of CM Punk.
Well, we got to the bottom of that one. So
we're investigating. We're learning all of life's mysteries every week on the Gout Foundation.
And it makes quite a bit of sense too that he wouldn't want to be in a locker room anymore.
Hello there. Definition.
Dutch Mantel is a fucking moron.
Fucking
Now,
idiot.
I didn't know what you were talking about originally, just because I don't make it a habit to see what retired people that did nothing at all in the wrestling business are doing with their lives. So when I started investigating this, this is originally what I thought you were talking about. I thought you were just talking about Dutch Mantel saying that he didn't think that Tony Khan booked the first episode of AEW's Color Me Back. But then I found out that Dutch Mantel, now this is Big Brody King calling Dutch Mantel a fucking moron for his views. But Dutch Mantel basically saying AEW and CM Punk were wrong to bring politics into wrestling. And this is coming from a man that was trying to stop Mexicans from crossing the border, that did We the People. Also, I thought trans rights, LGBTQ stuff, I thought that was human rights.
That's human. It's not political. It's not being political. It's not being left wing, right wing. It's human. It's basic human rights. And these people are getting their lives threatened every single week. And here's this man who, to me, looks like if you shave the beard off, he would look like a beautiful Russian woman. Like trying to obviously showing his prejudices against other human beings in real life.
I was making sure that I wasn't crazy to think that it wasn't a political, like, you know, that I'm a little bit more right leaning than you are,
yeah,
politically, and I don't even consider that a political issue. And I guess that's maybe why a lot more further right people don't agree with a lot of stuff I say. But it's, first off, the speech that CM Punk made, was that even on television? I didn't think it was. I thought just him putting up the sign was on television, and it wasn't even for that long on television. It was maybe a half a second glimpse on the actual airing national television thing. And the majority of people who saw that probably were like, yeah, we do need to support.
Yeah. Support them. Don't make them hate themselves. Don't let them feel afraid to be who they are. It should be a basic human, in your head. You should be thinking, yes, we should be doing that. So people aren't depressed. Which really shows off Dutch Mantel's true colors.
Now, what makes you, because like I said, you were the one who brought this up as a topic. What makes you think that Dutch Mantel is an asshole more? The fact that he's being a bit of a hypocrite by calling out AEW for trying to insert politics into wrestling, considering his track record, not only in angles he was in, but also angles he's booked? Or is it more because of his willing ignorance in the entire situation?
It's funny, yeah, you're right, because like he was part of the people. He was, the real Americans, that which was like, psychotic politics, piled onto you, and now it's like, oh no, this isn't what I agree with. So, well, yeah, they shouldn't be doing political angles, quotation marks. I don't consider this a political angle. By the way, this is the same guy who went on Twitter about a month ago and said that racism no longer exists.
Well, he and ICW booked an angle to where the white men were the top men in the company because the Puerto Ricans were second-class citizens to the real Americans, and they should be their slaves in the early, or maybe it was mid-90s possibly.
God.
And, I understand booking in Puerto Rico is a little bit different, but it's
your
still
murderers got to be loved.
Politics And maybe that's where he's confused because slavery is another thing that has nothing to do with politics. It's a human rights thing. Um, and maybe that's why he's confused about human rights and politics. Maybe he's just, like I said, willingly ignorant.
Just he's as stupid as hell.
But we did get, oh, hey, somebody actually found us.
Oh my god!
We're back.
Hi!
But the best part to come out of all this is Brody King.
I love me some Brody.
You old bag of shit.
Shit. I love Brody.
So,
I met him once.
for now on, we will be referring to old bag of shit as old bag of shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
did you see what old bag of shit posted? Look at the beard and old bag of shit. Old bag of shit. That boy ain't right.
I don't know why you're not modeling, like why you're doing this.
Now, moving on from the old bag of shit, because we all know that boy ain't right. The Bloodline. It looks like we're running out of people to insert and expert. No, that word.
Export?
Export. Insert and export.
Exorcism?
Export is an adjective for whatever word I'm trying to find there, so we're using it. But we don't have anybody else because if we take Solo out, then it's just like Roman beating up 3 people over and over. I mean, I guess we could take Heyman out of the equation.
He's not related, as far as I know.
But he ain't gonna go with the Usos. I don't know. I heard he hooked up with The Rock's mom. That's why. Isn't that why The Rock and CM Punk feuded? And that's why The Rock would not allow CM Punk into the WrestleMania main event between him and Cena because of the nasty, dirty things that Paul Heyman did to The Rock's grandmother over in Hawaii.
He tore he tore that up. The room smelled amazing. Lots of slapping. There were chains involved, and a porcupine bared witness in a corner. He was frightened.
I heard The Rock is more upset at Paul Heyman about the things that Paul Heyman did with his grandmother than The Rock is upset with Shawn Michaels over his.
He lotioned her up.
So, just saying, there is a chance. But there's an array of people we could insert into this. We got these people here. We got Jacob Fatu. We could bring back the Tongan Kid.
I'm going to see Jacob Fatu next month.
Isn't that guy wrestling right now? Can you even see the cursor?
Tonga Kid? I think the Tonga Kid's walking with a crutch, but he can use that as a weapon.
No, Umanga's son.
Oh, he just debuted.
Yeah, for Booker T's Dilly.
Yeah, Reality of Wrestling. Hell, you just throw him in there. Fuck it. We're running out of relatives. What we're going to use? The ghost of Yokozuna?
But, now, hear me out. I understand that Court Bauer has mentioned that Jacob Fatu has had 3 tryouts with the WWE, and the WWE just don't want him. Why you wouldn't want a guy like that, who knows? A lot of people are saying it's because of his background. He must have gotten into some type of trouble, I guess. I don't know.
I got some felonies. Maybe he fucked Paul Heyman's mom.
Possibly. I mean, it's not like anybody else in that family has ever driven so impaired that they put other people's lives at risk while they're driving a vehicle at all. Like, nobody else in the family has done anything that heinous. So I understand the standard that family has set, and that's why they don't want Jacob Fatu to be part of the Bloodline, because it would kind of ruin it, because then people
just
would be like,
ruin it. Like, it's not like he killed anybody.
You got a guy with a record in here? Like, come on now. We can't have anybody with a record in the Bloodline.
Nobody in the record, It isn't like he was actually already in the company and Vince McMahon helped give them away with murdering somebody.
Yeah. So this Bloodline, There's just nothing wrong with it except for Jacob Fatu. The only bad apple
Only.
out. But Court Bauer kind of brought that up out of nowhere. Before any of the WrestleMania rumors of him possibly popping up came out, like he brought it up out of nowhere. Now, I forget Umanga's son's name, but he's going to be appearing for Reality of Wrestling, I think later this month. And Jacob Fatu is also making an appearance there.
Ooh.
The same night that a couple of people from NXT will also be appearing for Reality of Wrestling. Is there a chance that maybe they're going to put Jacob Fatu in the ring with one of those people to see if he actually is
Ooh.
WWE ready to maybe pump some life into this story? Or do you find somebody else in the family to bring in?
Boy, that would be just because Jacob Fatu is like top god tier in the indie world, and I would just love for somehow to see him get some success. You know, like for the love of God, seeing a thick boy like that do that moonsault that he does off the top rope, where he jumps from the second to the to middle to the top, and like, you know, inspirational. Because, you know, I'm a big boy. You see my belly? No, you can't. Okay, it's a
What I
sweet
think,
belly.
what I think is so crazy is, as you said, Jacob Fatu is god tier in the Indies. Like, he is such a big deal in the Indies. When people talk about him getting signed, AEW isn't even mentioned because he has to go to the actual show. Like, he has to go to the major leagues. Like, him going to AEW just be like, you know, he really didn't do anything significant, because what he's doing so far and what he's accomplished so far is basically being in AEW anyway. So, like, that is what type of tier, for those who don't know who Jacob Fatu is, that is the tier that he is in on the indie scene, that he has to go to WWE, because it will be seen as a loss if he goes to AEW. It will seem like Jacob Fatu is basically settling, or basically just making a lateral move if he goes to AEW. The only way that Jacob Fatu could step up is go into WWE. And what better way for him to do it than step in and go to the only thing that, let's face it, that's the only reason why people are watching SmackDown right now. With no Bobby Lashley, no Drew McIntyre,
No.
LA Knight only sporadically getting microphone time. The only reason why people are watching SmackDown is the Bloodline storyline and inserting somebody like Jacob Fatu into it. But if we can't find anybody else from the family to insert into this feud, how would we push forward?
I would say, all right, so it failed for the Von Erichs back in the day, but how about we do it with the Anawahi family by putting in a fake relative in there? How about grabbing, like, let's make Bobby Lashley a relative. You know, just be like, you're now Bobby Anawahi.
But we already did that with Sammy.
True, but Lashley's black. That's terrible.
Aren't the Anawahis?
And no, Anawahis are Samoan.
I thought The Rock was the first ever black world champion.
Are Samoan people also black? I'm extremely Caucasian. I get confused sometimes.
I don't know. I know.
I had a cousin that thought that Godzilla movies happen in Mexico. I'm not lying either.
Now that is white.
And scene.
Because the only thing, because as we all know, Cody is not in the Money in the Bank match like everybody hypothesized. So the only thing I could really see is if it all implodes here at Money in the Bank, that Roman has to lose his title at SummerSlam. But without Cody having the Money in the Bank briefcase, who's going to beat Roman at SummerSlam?
I have a genius idea. Cody Rhodes dyes his hair black, declares himself Samoan,
He's got the tan.
got the tan, he's like half Cuban, it's a revolutionary idea, infiltrate the bloodline, gain Roman's trust, bring the Usos back into it. Cody becomes best friends, almost family with the Usos. Yeah, I see. Oh yeah. And then finally they have a match at next year's WrestleMania. Yeah.
Where he comes out with the hair bleached in the Cody Rhodes entrance, and he goes,
Whoa!
"I was Cody all along."
It was me. It was me all along, Stephanie. It was me all along.
But yeah, I mean, I'm happy that something has happened in the story. The fact that they're giving us the tag match already between Roman and Solo and the Usos kind of has me thinking either they're ready to wrap this thing up or they have something in store. Like you said, hopefully they're finding somebody else from the family to insert into the story.
Shave Nia Jax's head.
But
And
isn't that Paul Heyman?
Yes.
But this is a true Paul Heyman ECW story, though, because we got this great story. We found something from another guy that had nothing to do with it that actually made the story go a little bit longer and got people more invested into it. And now we don't have a way to give everybody a satisfying ending. So this is Telltale Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman.
101. Give them a great story from beginning to close to end, and then just hope that they put down the book before they finish.
Mm-hmm. Genius. Paul Heyman, I knew he knew what he was doing when he made Sweet Passionate Love to the Rock's grandmother. Technically, this is long-term storytelling. From when he banged her all the way to now. Like, I like to think that Paul Heyman invented King's Road storytelling.
38 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Bang.
And all with the help of Vaseline men's lotion that smells like camp.
Extra strength.
Extra strength. I have to confess, this entire time it has not been me, but in fact, my doppelganger.
You are about to enter a world.
I thought your arm, because at the edge of your frame on your screen, it looks like somebody is like next to you, like their arm is next to you.
Oh, what the hell? Wait.
Look. Yeah,
Oh,
you see that? It looks like somebody's arm is slightly in screen.
Oh, that's my pillow.
Oh.
I'm like, that I was scared shitless right there. Cause I watch so many scary ghost videos all day long on YouTube, and I'm like, oh god, am I going to finally have mine?
They had to read that description. I've been waiting for you to like turn the camera all video. Like, I'm really here.
Just my bed, creepy clown, my bed, and a miniature and a little wrestling ring. What's over here? Yeah, there was
Skull wrestling ring.
That what?
That's the Castle Grayskull wrestling ring.
Yeah.
I have.
There was a stream on YouTube that they showed where a ghost was walking across the screen of one of the guys' square, and that went viral. And the guy like had no idea what the hell they were talking about. He thought they were joking.
Oh wow!
And you could see a figure walking across the background. The one behind me?
I'm gonna look for ghosts next time I go in my attic, and then I'll stream from my attic sometime, and then maybe we can do the same thing.
Yeah, I take pictures of abandoned houses' windows just in case.
But since we got like 2 minutes, what do you think about Jake Paul just showing up to Raw and saying, "Hey, I'm in the Money in the Bank ladder match"?
Well, when you make fun of dead people in Japan and you abandon a pig in a field with no food or whatsoever, life is going to just drop lemons on you, and you're going to take those lemons and you're going to make mediocre energy drinks and get yourself into the Money in the Bank ladder match. And who knows, he'll probably have a really cool spot, but that boy ain't right. Yes.
You saying that just made me think of something. What if WWE plans on booking Ricochet? What
Ooh,
was the spot of the Royal Rumble?
when they went,
What was the
"Ew."
spot of the match? Jake
That was
Paul and Ricochet. Everybody's wondered why Ricochet, of all people, is put in this Money in the Bank match when there's a big lack of star power. Why Ricochet's in?
Okay, I'm being real with you right now because I hate the whole lack of star power. I'm like, okay, in my opinion, matches like the Money in the Bank ladder match is for people
It's
to
supposed to be mid-card.
yeah, it's supposed to be where it's supposed to be a mid-card match. It's supposed to be where the people who are not up here, this is their time to shine, grab that case, and then get to that next level into being in the main event. It's not supposed to be all like world champions. You never seen Ric Flair in a Money in the Bank ladder match. He would die. But other than that, like this, like I said, this is the same thing with the Royal Rumble. Like, you're supposed to hopefully hope that the guy who has never won a Royal Rumble, that's never won a World Championship, who has been climbing up, not like Sheamus when he won it back in the day. That was bullshit. We want someone like Ricochet or someone like that. We want them to win that briefcase. We want them to win that huge match so they can get to that next level. That's what the storytelling was like back in the 90s when we used to watch, Bret Hart and then Shawn Michaels do this type of shit, or even when Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble. We're forgetting this because we've been in such a horrible, abusive relationship with WWE for years on end without any competition until AEW showed up and lifted us up in their arms, took us into that hotel room, and made sweet, passionate love to us all night while we were covered in Vaseline men's lotion.
Extra strength.
Extra strength!
But so I'm wondering if Ricochet is going to cost Logan Paul the match, and at SummerSlam we're going to see Ricochet in a featured match on a Big Four pay-per-view. Ricochet versus Logan Paul.
Way long overdue. If we, because like I said, I mean, it's not obvious. I don't like Logan Paul, but if it gets Ricochet to some, main event, some type of big spot, a featured match in WrestleMania, do it, book it, because that guy has been he went from being so huge in Japan to God damn, they started treating him like Duke the Dumpster Droese in WWE.
Well, what it was is that the Elite didn't want anything to do with him. And so that fan base just kind of halfway liked him. And then he got to NXT and he did amazing, but the whole crowd wasn't behind him because there was the cool wrestling fans who had to stick with the Ospreay side of things. And once he got to the main roster, Ricochet, it's all about getting that big pop your first night on the main roster. And if you don't get it, you get treated like shit. That's why Nakamura was treated, he never won the world title, but that's why Nakamura, if you think about it, really was not treated that bad on the main roster compared to a lot of the other people.
It could have been worse.
Joe really wasn't either. Everybody likes to say Samoa Joe did, but it's because he didn't win a title. But Samoa Joe was not treated bad either.
No, he treated very, very well. There's some people who go on there and back. I remember no one ever complains about AJ Styles or Kevin Owens came into the main roster and it was like a natural fit. You don't see anyone complaining about him except for that shit, the way he lost the Universal Championship. Just some people aren't a good fit.
And I think that's hilarious that Goldberg did that to Owens and then turned around and did it to the Fiend 1 year later.
That's why we don't. Yeah, see, that's why everyone doesn't like Goldberg right now. But I'm like, just give him one match in AEW, just one to let it to bye-bye so he can go away. We forget we used to love him. We used to chant Goldberg. He's right.
Going on. There you are. You're back.
Hello.
You disappeared for a second.
Oh,
I didn't know what happened.
you're doing like a freezy thing.
No. But do you think MJF versus Goldberg's going to happen at All In like Goldberg thinks?
Oh God, I don't know if I would be like super disappointed or super excited about that. I have to wait till I see that image pop up. And like I don't know.
Supposedly, word in the underground is that Goldberg is going to book himself a farewell tour,
Okay.
and Ryback is due to be one of those opponents. Now, the only people that have suggested this so far is Ryback. The only person who wants this to happen that I've talked to or have even met in my life is Ryback. And the only person who even thinks this is a good idea happens to be Ryback. But I would feel like I am not doing my best to inform anyone that is watching us by not letting them know that may be Goldberg's last opponent, because there is one single person on this earth that is so important that WWE is spending millions of dollars to stifle his social media growth. And that man is Ryback.
Boy, oh boy, like, man, do you remember back when for like 2 weeks we really liked Ryback? Feed me more.
I had gotten real sick, like dying ass sick, like when I got shot, it had gotten infected real bad. And from when he came out until like he lost that match in the cage,
yeah,
I didn't watch wrestling for that entire time. So like when I started watching, like it was 2 weeks after that cage match, I had no idea what the fuck was going on with this Ryback guy.
I remember
was like, who's this bushwhacker wannabe just stomping around on stage?
We really liked him for like a minute, and then all that momentum was just gone after like 3 weeks.
Was he doing the bushwhacker thing then too?
He was doing the feed me more, and people were like, "No, I don't recall. Hey, not exactly. Not exactly like that. He had more teeth, thin them, you know.
Not combined.
Like what?
Combined, they had more teeth.
Back in the day,
yeah.
The sheep herders.
That's actually why I'm going bald, is because I think it was Luke licked my head when I was a child.
That just came right off.
I'm losing hair, and the only place I'm losing hair is where he licked my head.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
licked it right, cleaned off. It's like his tongue was made from like 1,000 cat tongues, and just. Shh.
Well, no, there was something in the saliva that over the years just soaked into my scalp, and eventually just killed all the hair.
Like a combination of saliva and Vegemite.
Because I always had thin hair, and everybody wondered why I had thin hair, and I was like, I don't know. Like, we thought it was possibly because, like, some part, like, native, like, 1/16 Native American or something like that. So we thought that had something to do with, like, my thin hair. But I believe it's because Bushwhacker Luke licked my head.
On a side note, go to 23andMe, get yourself a DNA test, because a lot of us who think we're like one part Native American find out that we're not.
Well, I don't believe that 23andMe, because I was always told I was 1/32 Native American, but according to that, I'm a little bit more than 1/16 Native American.
I have like none in me, and I was raised to believe that I had it in me.
Yeah, I was raised to believe like a great grandmother was Indian, and from like the percentages or something, it had to have been, or no, a great grandmother's mother was Indian, but from the percentages, it had to have been like my grandmother's immediate, like aunt, mom, something like that. Like
Yeah,
that's how high the percentage is.
my mother's side of the family is hilarious because they're all like, they don't say we're part Native American. We just say we are Native American. And so when my DNA test came in, I'm like, I have none in me at all. They're like, what?
Yeah.
And that means we don't have that. If I don't have a zero in me, that means you have zero. You have zero. We're just white.
That's why I don't believe it, because it also says that like there's Viking in my blood.
I believe it because it made me, it helped me find my. I feel like we're actually being serious right now, folks. I found my missing sister with that, and like we have the same dad. So they're going through our DNA.
I'm a very tiny Viking then.
You're a tiny Viking,
Well, Indians were tiny, weren't they?
probably.
Said I was like 30% Viking.
300 years ago, everyone was 5'2".
Oh, okay. So being 4'9" ain't too bad then.
You're basically the Great Khali.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that was this week. The Gout Foundation with
The best scout machine, the Rihanna, the Doja Cat of Wrestle Talk. Yes, and this was my cohort, my partner in partnering crime, covered in Vaseline and petroleum jelly. My co-host,
Chris Brown.
I'm laughing way too hard. God damn
I'm
it.
sorry. Forbidden Door is going to be this Sunday, and I really need to get domestic violence just off my brain.
Oh, God. Oh, on a side note, I'm not even going to watch it live. I bought tickets to an all-women's wrestling show and completely did not realize it was the same night.
Are you sure that's not Forbidden Door?
I don't know, but I'm going to see Melina.
Oh, I actually got an invitation to go somewhere and watch it with some people that we know. You and I both know. But I'm not 100% sure if I can make it happen.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spoil anything in case I am able to. But yeah, so everybody out there be looking for some extra content coming from the Gout Foundation not during, because I'm too lazy to post, and so are you while we're at events, but
Yeah.
a little bit after, maybe a day or two possibly, of Forbidden Door. And do you have any last words of wisdom before we leave these amazing people?
Well, I just want to say that if you're watching this, I appreciate you taking the time out to watch our videos. Go find us both on TikTok and various other social medias. Just Google me and you'll find everything, including all the horrible videos I've taken completely naked, covered in peanut butter.
You know,
God bless America. What?
If you Google me, like my actual like government name, I used to rap a song called the Drug Alphabet, and that will be the first thing that comes up. And true story, for anybody that does it, the picture that comes up with the book Lord of the Flies, I'm not even going to explain anything else about the picture, but I took that picture in my bedroom. So, little mystery for you guys to find out my government and to Google to see the picture.
No one can find mine. Ha ha!
And we'll see
That boy ain't
next
right.
week for the off week. Where should I give them a little bit of teaser what the off week's going to be about?
Give him a teaser. Give him a teaser. Tease him hard.
We are going to prove that Mr. Perfect is indeed not perfect.